Long ago, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a flowing river, there lived a young girl named Maya. Maya was known for her kindness, her love of art, and her wild, curly hair that shimmered like the sun. But Maya's life was not easy. She was different from the other girls in the village, and her uniqueness made her a target for teasing and cruelty. Maya loved to draw. She would sit by the river for hours, sketching the birds, the trees, and the faces of the villagers. Her sketches were filled with life and color, capturing the beauty of the world around her. She dreamed of one day becoming a great artist, but the other girls in the village, led by a girl named Whitney, didn't understand her passion. They mocked her for her love of art, her dark skin, and her thick curly hair. "Look at her," they would say. "She's like a wild animal. Why doesn't she shave her arms? Why doesn't she look like us?" Maya tried to ignore them, but their words stung like thorns. One day, the bullying became too much. Whitney and her friends cornered Maya in the schoolyard, pulling at her hair and laughing. "You're a beast," they shouted. "You don't belong here." Maya's heart raced as she tried to push them away, but they only laughed harder. "Look at her arms," one of the girls sneered. "She's hairy everywhere. She should be locked up." Tears streamed down Maya's face as she ran home, her heart heavy with shame. When she reached her small hut, Maya threw herself onto her bed and cried. She tore up her sketches, the ones she had worked so hard on, and hid under her blanket. "Why can't I just be like everyone else?" she whispered to herself. Her older sister Violet found her there. "Maya," she said gently, sitting beside her, "you can't let them win. You are beautiful, just the way you are." But Maya shook her head. "No one likes me," she said. "I'll never fit in." Violet sighed and brushed a strand of hair from Maya's face. "Listen to me," she said. "The world is full of people who will try to bring you down, but you can't let them define who you are. You are strong, Maya, stronger than you know." But Maya didn't believe her. She stayed in her room for days, refusing to go to school or even step outside. The villagers whispered about her, but no one came to check on her. No one except her grandmother. Maya's grandmother was a wise woman, known throughout the village for her stories and her kindness. She had silver hair that flowed like a river, and eyes that sparkled with wisdom. One evening, she came to Maya's hut and sat beside her. "Maya," she said softly, "come with me. I have something to show you." Reluctantly, Maya followed her grandmother to the edge of the village, where a great baobab tree stood tall and proud. Under the tree, Maya's grandmother began to tell her a story. "Long ago," she said, "there was a lioness with a mane as wild as the savannah. The other animals mocked her, saying she looked like a lion. They told her to cut her mane to make herself smaller, to fit in. But the lioness didn't care. She knew her strength, her beauty, and her worth. And one day, when the village was in danger, it was the lioness who saved them all. The villagers, who had once laughed at her, now bowed their heads in respect. They realized that her wild mane was not a flaw. It was her power." Maya listened, her heart beginning to heal. "Be proud of who you are," her grandmother said, placing a hand on Maya's shoulder. "Not ashamed of how others see you. Your hair is your crown, your skin is your strength, and your art is your voice. Never let anyone take that away from you." Maya's grandmother's words stayed with her long after they left the baobab tree. That night, as she lay in bed, Maya thought about the lioness in the story. She imagined herself as the lioness, strong and fearless, her wild mane flowing in the wind. For the first time in weeks, Maya felt a spark of hope. The next morning, Maya decided to return to school. She dressed carefully, choosing her favorite dress and braiding her hair with colorful beads. She packed her sketchbook and pencils, determined to face the day with courage. As she walked to school, she repeated her grandmother's words in her mind. Be proud of who you are. When Maya arrived at school, Whitney and her friends were waiting for her. Look who's back, Whitney sneered. The hairy beast. The other girls laughed, but Maya stood tall. I am not a beast, she said firmly, her voice steady despite the fear in her chest. I am Maya, and I am proud of who I am. My hair is my crown, my skin is my strength, and my art is my voice. If you don't like it, that's your problem, not mine. The villagers who had once laughed along with Whitney fell silent. They saw Maya's courage and they were ashamed of their cruelty. Whitney opened her mouth to say something, but no words came out. For the first time, she didn't know what to say. Maya turned and walked away, her head held high. She didn't look back. That afternoon, Maya sat by the river and began to sketch. She drew the lioness from her grandmother's story, her mane wild and free. She added the villagers, their faces filled with awe and respect. As she worked, Maya felt a sense of peace she hadn't felt in weeks. She realized that she didn't need the approval of others to be happy. She had her art, her family, and her own strength. Word of Maya's bravery spread quickly through the village. The villagers who had once mocked her now admired her courage. They began to see her in a new light, not as a girl who was different, but as a girl who was strong and kind. One by one, they came to Maya to apologize. They brought her gifts, a new sketchbook, colorful beads for her hair, and sweet fruits from their gardens. Even Whitney, though it was hard for her, came to Maya and said, I'm sorry, I was wrong to treat you that way. Maya forgave her, but she never forgot the lesson she had learned. Kindness is stronger than cruelty, she told Whitney, and being different is not a weakness, it's a gift. To honor Maya's bravery, the village held a great feast. They danced under the stars, their laughter echoing through the night. Maya's sketches were displayed for all to see, and the villagers marveled at her talent. You have taught us an important lesson, the village elder said, standing before the crowd. We must celebrate our differences, not fear them. Maya has shown us that true beauty lies not in how we look, but in the strength of our hearts and the courage to be ourselves. Maya smiled, her heart full. She had found her place in the village, not by changing who she was, but by embracing it. As the villagers danced and sang, Maya sat by the river, her sketchbook in her lap. She drew the scene before her, the firelight, the smiling faces, the stars above. It was her favorite sketch yet. And so, Maya's story became a legend in the village, passed down from generation to generation. It reminded the people to be kind, to celebrate their differences, and to stand up for what is right. For Maya had shown them that true beauty lies not in how we look, but in the strength of our hearts and the courage to be ourselves.